Hari Om and greetings from Niagara Falls. By show of hands, how many of you have been to Sandipani in Mumbai, our ashram there? A lot of you. In our ashram, every evening, a beautiful phrase is chanted. That phrase is, Go Shubham Astu Nityam. Go Shubham Astu Nityam. Go means earth. Go has many meanings. One of them is earth. Shubham means well. Astu Nityam, may this always be. May the earth always be well. We chant that every night in our ashram. And chanting this is great, but greater is what we're all gathered for, which is Prthvi Sevasanga. Sangha means a community. All of us coming to unity. Why? Seva, to serve. Serve what? Serve whom? The one who is perpetually and comprehensively serving us, which is our Mother Earth. Prithvi Seva Sangha, a community serving our Mother Earth. Now, also included in this prayer we offer each evening is not just go, but also Brahmane. Brahmane Shubham Astu Nityam. May those who study and share insights from our scriptures, may they always be well. The implication of this lovely prayer is that if the earth is well, we will be well. If the Brahmanas, those who study and share insights from the scriptures, are well, we will be well. Now, connecting this more, how many of you are trained in some sort of classical Indian dance form? By a show of hands. Okay. I'd like to see more hands up for the devas. Okay, so go learn. I hope our boys will also learn. One of the most popular offerings for those who know classical Indian dances is around the Dasha Avatara, the most popular expressions of Bhagwan Narayana. Do note, I am saying Avatara. Yes? Yes. Now tell me, share in the chat, what is Bhagwan Narayana's first avatara in the Dashavatara? The first. Matsya, that's right. Second, Kurma. Third, Varaha. And fourth, Narasimha. In English, a fish, as if more evolved, a tortoise, as if more evolved, a boar, and as if more evolved, a lion. Now, each of these avatars They are embodiments of the earth, correct? They're essentially animals, but they're also brahmanas. They're those who studied and shared insights from our scriptures. Extending this thought, in Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a beautiful portion where Rishi Dattatreya is studying and sharing what we can learn from our earth, from our elements. I'm going to share this with you in brief, because tonight's workshop is entitled Vedanta and Nature. And I'm trying to impress upon everyone that they are not different. The word and should be replaced with is nature. Vedanta is nature, nature is Vedanta. The earth is the brahmanas are the earth. Rishi Dattatreya shares, in order, his first insight that he experienced from just living with the earth and the elements is from the earth. And before I tell you what he learned from the earth, you tell me, write in the chat, what can we learn from the earth? How can we become better in reference to the earth? To be patient, to be a giver. Yes, yes. Wonderful. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, it is to forgive. Now imagine how many steps you've taken on the earth. With our pedometers, I think they're called pedometers, we aspire to take 10,000 steps a day, millions a year, billions in a lifetime. Does the earth ever step back on you? Does the earth ever complain? The earth is an icon of forgiveness. Go and Brahmana are the same. The earth is one that is studying and more so sharing insights on how we can be better. Next is the air. Tell me in the chat, what can we learn from the air, from the element air? Detachment, purity, freshness, all well thought out. According to Bhagavatam, it is to purify. To purify. Every morning when I'm teaching Meaningful Mornings, I leave this window open, a crack. Why? Because there's two wonderful beings that often come in here and are very natural in this room. So I open the window just to bring that freshness, to purify. So for us, the more that we live away in purifying our own lives and others, then we are like Go and Brahmana, Vedanta and nature, or nature and Vedanta. Next is fire. Another way that Rishi Dattatreya became a rishi is to learn from fire. Tell me in which way. What can you learn from fire? Sacrifice, intensity, to absorb, yes, yes. To not let people touch you, right? Think about this very, very logically. I was in Seattle, I think last week, and I was sharing with them about poor logic. A science teacher was trying to teach the students about what pure alcohol does. And so this science teacher had this beaker with pure alcohol and then had some live worms and put those live worms in the alcohol, and all of those live worms died. And then the science teacher asked the class, Okay, what did you learn from this experiment? One student puts their hand up. If you have worms, drink alcohol. Poor logic, okay? So, what we can learn from fire is to absorb. You can put the best of the best in fire or the worst of the worst in fire, and that fire will burn both down or absorb both. Making this more practical as we go about our day, when someone says you're the best, absorb that and don't be affected. When someone says something that is racist, then absorb that and don't be affected. To forgive, to purify, to absorb. How the earth is like a teacher. Number 4 is water. Water. Rishi Dattatreya learned how to be happy from water. What is the message for us? What can we learn from water to become happy? Adaptability, very good. To refresh, to serve everyone. Good. I'm glad everyone is thinking about this in a reflective way. It is to refresh, to refresh. On Saturday, I take a 15-hour flight from Toronto to Delhi. And then when I arrive in Delhi, I'll go through immigration, then get to my grandmother's house. And the first thing I'm going to want to do is eat street food. And then take a shower, correct? Like, that's what you want to do. You need that water to just feel fresh. For all of us, when you bathe or you drink water, you just feel so refreshed. How we can practice that is everyone we meet, we should try to refresh them. We should try to make them feel lighter. And finally, space. What is space trying to teach us? What can you learn from space? Which is different than air. Inclusivity, good. To be, yeah. Limitlessness, It is to accept. To accept. Another word for this is to accommodate. Space accepts all, space accommodates all. For us, practically, it means to be more large-hearted. The more small-hearted we are, the more we want others to change. The more large-hearted we are, the more we accept others as they are. We are the ones who change. I'm rewinding and slowly transitioning to our dynamics. In our culture, when we offer arti, one of our prayers is, may the earth and may those who study and share the scriptures be well. Why? If they're well, then all will be well, particularly the one offering that prayer. And this prayer is a beautiful expression of how Vedanta is nature and nature is Vedanta. Vedanta is teaching us about in diversity there is unity. And nature is teaching us to be virtuous like she is. Particularly to forgive, to purify, to absorb, to refresh, and to accept. Prthvi Sevasanga is for those who have that sensitivity that we cannot have a casual relationship with our earth, because our earth doesn't have a casual relationship with us. The earth has a comprehensive relationship with us, and it's only natural for those who are sensitive, those who are nurturing ahimsa, to reciprocate. And now, fully transitioning from our discourse to dynamics, what we're now going to do is engage in a survival game. And I hope you're catching why we're engaging in this survival game. If the earth doesn't survive, we don't survive. If the earth is well, we are well. If the earth is poor, we are poor. If the earth doesn't survive, we don't survive. What is going to happen is eventually you're going to be put in random groups of I don't know how many, 3, 4, 5, 6. Something will happen. I'm going to read to you the context of this survival game. Okay? This is called Lost at Sea. Listen carefully. You have chartered a yacht with some friends for the holiday trip of a lifetime across the Atlantic Ocean. Because none of you have any previous sailing experience, you have hired an experienced skipper and 2-person crew. Unfortunately, in the mid-Atlantic, a fierce fire breaks out in the ship's galley, and the skipper and crew have been lost while trying to fight the blaze. Much of the yacht is destroyed and is slowly sinking. Your location is unclear because vital navigational and radio equipment have been damaged in the fire. Your best estimate is that you are many hundreds of miles from the nearest landfall. You and your friends, we'll change it to you and your seekers, have managed to salvage 15 items, undamaged and intact after the fire. In addition, you have salvaged a 4-person rubber life craft and a box of matches. Your task is to rank the 15 items in terms of their importance for you as you wait to be rescued. I'm going to pause here. Eventually, you're going to see a list of 15 items, and you have to rank from 1 to 15 or 15 to 1, whatever it is. 1 is the most important. 15 is the least important. Place the number 1 by the most important item, the number 2 by the second most important, and so forth until you have ranked all 15 items. So simplifying this is the context. Now you and your seekers are going to form a group. I'm going to read out what these 15 items are, and you're obviously not going to remember them all, so this is shared in the chat also. You're going to rank, which is the most important, all the way to the least important. Here's what they are. This is in no particular order. This is in order from most important to least important. A sextant, a shaving mirror, a quantity of mosquito netting, a 25-liter container of water, a case of army rations, maps of the Atlantic Ocean, a floating seat cushion, a 10-liter can of oil, fuel mixture, a small transistor radio, 20 feet of opaque plastic sheeting, a can of shark repellent, 1 bottle of 160 proof rum, 15 feet of nylon rope, 2 boxes of chocolate bars, an ocean fishing kit and pole. Okay, so right now it is 9:22 p.m. How about you get 13 minutes to start ranking? So accept the invitation to the breakout room. These are random rooms. At 9:35, we'll start to debrief. Work together without fighting. Ready to see if you survived. I see a lot of smiles, but not a lot of hope. Okay. Firstly, I hope, and I don't feel like I need to say this to you, that no one used the internet to find out the answers. Yes? It's not how fast you can use the internet. Survival. What I'm going to read to you now is the ranking according to the US Coast Guard from um, least important to most important, okay? This is not Vivek's insights. If it was Vivek's insights, nobody would survive. I would say chocolate is number one. Mosquito netting is number two. So according to the US Coast Guard, everyone's ready? Okay. And one more point is, everyone who's in your group, did one person record your order? Okay. If you didn't, try to communicate with each other in the chat that there should have been a sort of recording in your group about this order. A sextant. The Coast Guard ranking is 15. It is useless without the relevant tables and a chronometer. There's no point in having this measuring device if there's no reference. See, all of you have died already. I can tell. 14. A quantity of mosquito netting. There are no mosquitoes in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and the netting is useless for anything else. All of those mosquitoes are in Trinidad, okay? 13. Maps of the Atlantic Ocean. They're worthless without navigation equipment. That is 13. 12. A small transistor radio. You would be out of range of any radio station. 11. One bottle of 160% proof rum. That was 11, not 1. It contains 80% alcohol, which means it can be used as an antiseptic for any injuries otherwise of little value. Very dangerous if drunk, as it would cause the body to dehydrate, the opposite of what you need to survive. 10. A can of shark repellent. You can't repel sharks. No can is going to do anything. 9. A floating seat cushion. It is useful as a life preserver if someone fell overboard. Number 8. 15 feet of nylon rope. It could be used to lash people or equipment together to prevent being washed overboard. There are a variety of other uses, but none high on the list for survival. 7. An ocean fishing kit with pole, ranked lower than the chocolate, as there is no guarantee you will catch any fish, especially if you're a vegetarian of Indian origin. It says it right there. The pole might be used as a tent pole. Number 6. 2 boxes of chocolate bars. This is your reserve food supply. Number 5. 20 square feet of opaque plastic sheeting. It can be used to collect rainwater and shelter from the wind and waves. Number 4. A case of army rations. This is your basic food intake. Number 3. A 25-liter container of water, vital to restore fluids lost through perspiration. 25 liters will supply water rations for your group for several days. Number 2, the 10-liter can of oil and gasoline mixture. This is the second most critical item for signaling. The mixture will float on water and can be ignited using the matches. Remember, you have matches, and there's oil in here, which means it's going to float. What's number 1? The shaving mirror. That's right. Of all the items, the mirror is absolutely critical. It is the most powerful tool you have for communicating your presence. In sunlight, a simple mirror can generate 5 to 7 million candle power of light. The reflected sunbeam can even be seen beyond the horizon. Now what you're going to do, whatever number you placed and whatever number the Coast Guard placed, I want you to find the difference. Okay? So as an example, sextant, if I wrote 1 and the Coast Guard wrote 15, the difference is 14, correct? Understood. So now start calculating your total. Add up the differences between your rating and the Coast Guard's rating. I'm only going to give you 2 minutes to do this, okay? I don't want you to be too dejected, so we'll go fast. Okay, wrap up. Find out your subtotal. I see there are some comments in the chat that we survived. That is questionable. I also see that you had an expert in your team. You're confident you've survived. We shall see. Okay. Again, these are the Coast Guard's analysis. If your difference is 0 to 25, excellent. You demonstrated great survival skills. You are rescued. Does anyone have a difference of 0 to 25 by show of hands? Wow, you used the internet, didn't you? Okay, I'm impressed. If the difference is 26 to 32, 26 to 32, that is good. These are above average results, good survival skills. You are rescued. Show of hands, difference of 26 to 32. Okay. 33 to 45, average. You are seasick, hungry, and tired, but you are rescued. Anyone 33 to 45? None. Okay. 46 to 55, fair. You are dehydrated and barely alive. It was tough, but you are rescued. Anyone 46 to 55? Okay, a fair amount. 56 to 70, poor. You are rescued, but only just in time. 1 more minute and you would have died. This is like Sri Bharata telling Sri Rama, if you come 1 minute late, I'm not going to survive. So that's like you. How many of you 56 to 70? Do I show of hands? Okay. 71 and over. First, put your hand up before I read. Who got 71 and over? Very poor. Okay, it says it right there. Okay, this is not me using my own adjectives. Very poor. Oh dear. Your empty raft is washed up on a beach weeks after the search was called off. So you didn't stand a chance in surviving. Please share with me in the chat, and I feel that this is obvious, but share with me in the chat, how does this fun survival game relate to Vedanta and nature? Share in the chat. Share with everyone. Vivekji was bored. He didn't know what to teach. He doesn't know a lot of content, so he just searches on the internet for games. We need to prioritize. Viveka's the first of the sadhana chatushtaya. That's right. Anyone else? Shows us how powerful nature is. That's right. Nature can destroy all, water can destroy all of land very easily. If we don't prioritize well, Prithvi doesn't survive, we don't survive. Consolidating my observation. From a Vedantic perspective, the most impractical way to live is to live unhappily. It really means you're alive, but you're not living. And so if that's the case, it is to prioritize happiness above pleasure and possession and position. In regards to nature, nature almost takes precedent over Vedanta. When we chant Om Sahana Vavatu, it means may we be safe. We've completed 1 year of Prithvi Sevasanga. Let's fast forward to 2030. Many of you who live on the coast, looking around at, most of you don't live near the coast, but suppose you live near the coast, okay? And there's storm surges coming towards your home. Are you actually in this workshop then? No, your mind is on your safety, correct? Nature has to go on for the opportunity for us to study and share, to engage in sadhana and seva. Agreed. So in that context of nature, it is to prioritize nature. We're going to finish our first workshop of the year with some announcements. These are very comprehensive announcements, so please listen carefully. Our Prithvi Sevasanga uses a framework of lest. And I hope you remember what I've explained about this. In Canada, particularly around Remembrance Day, which is November 11th, we use the phrase, lest we forget. I'm sure it's prevalent in America also. In Canada, it's very prevalent. And the idea is that we have Remembrance Day so that we don't forget those who helped us be free, our war veterans, etc. L stands for learn. Every month, we have a workshop from someone in our community. I hope you noted that. Every seeker who's presented is a seeker. They're in a course with you. They're in Meaningful Mornings. That's what's really special. There's no outsiders who are coming to advise us. We're all advising ourselves. Next is E, which is engage. Every month we are given a practice. Like in the day, you're given a rad, in the week, you're given a reflection adventure of the week. This is a practice for every month. In reference to Sanatana Dharma, it is wonderful to study Sanatana Dharma, but that has to be matched with discipline, which is following. S is support, to support each other as we practice what we're learning. When we go to a park and we have to go there to exercise and there's nobody else there, we sit on a bench and order something from Amazon. But if you go to that park and everyone else is exercising, then you exercise also. That's the power of community. Learn, engage, support. The videos for our workshops are on our YouTube channel. Our team is very diligent about releasing these a month later. We also have videos about the practices, short videos. This is what you're supposed to try every month. And in regards to the support, how many of you have written an article or a reflection on Prithvi Sevasanga by show of hands? Lots of you. That's in our e-newsletter. I hope you're all signed up for this. If you're not, then please write to our team so that you can be included in all of this. LES, the last letter is T, which stands for transform. It essentially means one dedicating themselves, and built into that is sacrifice. For the coming weeks, our transform is based on pledges or sankalpas, starting with the pledge we started last month was on shifting our gift giving to be more sustainable, that is from material to immaterial. Right now we have 322 seekers who have signed our pledge. Sign it. I had shared in Meaningful Mornings, I'm not just encouraging you, I'm enforcing for you to sign this and share this too. Like what you share on WhatsApp, you don't need to share. This is what you should be sharing on WhatsApp and so on. So sign and share. And then our next pledge is fasting for the future. Ladakh is a beautiful aspect, facet of Bharat, and it is suffering due to climate change, suffering because of us. It's not even suffering because of the Indian people. And really, I'm not even saying Canadians, I'm pointing to the Americans. That the population is so small, but the pollution is so big. And where does it go? You can't control pollution. It goes everywhere. So there is a climate activist who's been fasting. Tomorrow will be his 5th day. And we just came to know about this. So now there's communities around the world who are fasting for a day because we're not used to fasting for 5 days. So I was just told that there's 14 seekers in our community who have signed up to fast for the future, which means tomorrow they will not eat food and they will only eat to survive. Okay, and they're not going to justify, I need popcorn to survive. I need a Pop-Tart to survive. Vivek is taking the pledge to only consume water and coffee. They have a very early morning, so these two. It would be lovely if all of you also did, if your body type allows that. You know, before I finish speaking, maybe there'll be 30 of us who sign up for this. And what a great way to remember Gandhiji. So fasting for the future is our second sankalpa. Our third is going to start on Mahashivratri. Please listen more carefully. This is very important. It's a long pledge from Mahashivratri, which is February 18th, to Vijayadashami, which is October 24th. That's 250 days. My encouragement and enforcement is there are more than 500 registered students in our weekly courses, more than 500. I'm not even accounting for unregistered and Meaningful Mornings and so on. If all 500 of us save $1 a day and dedicate this to Devi, the dedication is what's important. In Sanskrit, that's called yajna. If there's dedication, there has to be sacrifice. If you don't sacrifice, how can you say you're dedicated? We all save $1 a day and we dedicate this to environmental charities for air and water and animals and plants. Then we will contribute over $100,000 to the earth surviving, which means us surviving. This pledge we will entitle as Dedicated to Devi. I'm sharing this with you in advance to think about this, to prepare for this, to spread the word. First pledge, changing our gift giving. Sign this on change.org. Second pledge, fasting for the future. Tomorrow, work hard and smart. Think of Gandhiji, think of Bhagavati Devi, and no need to eat. And third pledge is starting soon on saving $1 a day and dedicating this to Devi. All right. With that, we complete our first workshop for 2023. This is very meaningful. And we have a lot of communities that are collaborating with Prthvi Sevasanga because we're all realizing how meaningful this is. All of you, please be ambassadors in your centers, in your communities. Encourage everyone to download the Prithvi Seva guide. Encourage the Balavar classes to dedicate 10 minutes in each class to reflect on the earth, to practice for the earth. The YouTube videos can be content for the adult study groups or once a month in the assembly. On our YouTube channel, there's an entire discourse series on our Shastra and our environment. Hinduism equals environmentalism, just like Vedanta equals nature. Again, my thanks to all of you, just for loving our earth the way she needs to be loved, and to our team particularly. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be joy.